Today we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson at Clarence Park, where the Saints have gone down to a 3-2 defeat in the National League South to league leaders Wealdstone. I felt, Ian, there were times when, well, overall I thought Wealdstone had the majority of the play, but we did have good spells when we got on top, and when we got at them, we caused some problems at the back.
Yeah, I think you're right, David. We spoke before the game that they're going to have long spells. You know, they've got some really good footballers in their team, and they all want to be on the ball. They want to pass it, they keep it. Their movement's really good, and so we knew there was going to be some spells in there where they were going to dominate possession, and that was just about us being patient and getting our bodies around the ball and stopping them. Obviously, when we get the opportunities, and I felt we did that for long periods. I felt in the first half we got in 3 or 4, even probably more than that, opportunities in terms of getting in behind them, causing them problems, and yet our final decision, our final pass or the final ball just wasn't good enough. We've gone behind to a goal that they've scored again, which we watched on the highlights last night, and we didn't defend it properly, but showed good character to come back, got back to 1-0 at half time, felt quite comfortable. I was really pleased with the way we've done in the first half. But again, second half, we shot ourselves in the foot with giving the ball away in our final third, and before we know where we are, and Danny Green's hit a worldie, to be fair, top corner. He can't do a lot about that side of it because we give the ball away cheap. I mean, my argument is we shouldn't be giving the ball away like we did in that pattern of play. And then for me, it's a difficult one. You know, I feel we're undone by the referee with the penalty. It's I've just gone through it with you. You've showed it to me, and it's hit his hand, but it's been played by the lad into him, and there's not a lot he can do, David. He can't get out of the way. It's not deliberate, and for me, puts you 3-1 down, and then you think, well, you know, we could throw the towel in here and be, you know, this could be on the end of a heavy defeat. I thought the players showed great character. We've come back again, we've hit the crossbar, we've scored a goal, had a couple of goal-mouth scrambles, and could have got quite something out of it. I just felt our decision-making, or, you know, our final pass or final decision in that last sort of 10-15 minutes, we picked the wrong options, and that probably would have stopped us getting an equaliser in that period.
Handball for the penalty, but put them 3-1 up, Ian. If it has hit him, and if a referee's opinion it has, then he's got to give a penalty. A year ago, he wouldn't have had to. He'd have been able to use common sense.
Well, we've said it all along, and common sense has gone out of football, which is a shame because, as you say, we always thought it was supposed to be on behalf of the defenders. Now, today's decision is obviously gone on behalf of the forward team, but again, you know, a couple of the players in there are saying that the goalmouth scrambles we've had has hit players' hands, but obviously they've gone for you and it goes against you, and I suppose over the course of the season it does even it up. But as I said before, David, the rules now are so scarce in terms of what you can do and what you can't do. I think, you know, most people have lost the plot in terms of what they're going to give, and they still can't give a definitive answer at the end of it. He just said it's hit his hand. Well, you've seen it. He didn't put his hand in the ball in a way of stopping the ball. The ball was played against his hand by their forward, so he can't do anything. His hands are down by his side, and there's not a lot he can do. But there, listen, he's made the decision. But, you know, we've got to look at some of the positives. You know, we've still got lots of areas we're not quite good enough in, and a lot of it is in that final third. You know, we've scored 2 goals tonight, but we've conceded 3. If the game's opened up too much and it's too expansive, then, you know, they would have been better than us. We've had to be a little bit narrow in terms of the way we defended. But as I say, disappointed because I felt in that last 15-20 minutes some of our decision-making was poor. But we've got to work on them things, and we've got to work harder and try and turn this season around very quickly, because, as I said, we don't want to just keep picking up results here and results there and draws here and draws there, because it's not good enough. We've had 9 games now, 7 points, and our return for where we are now hasn't been good enough for where we are. I certainly think the performances over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks has been better, but as we've said, we've not picked a lot up in terms of victories, and that's what we've got to do quite quickly.
You made quite a few changes tonight. One of them, Albans, repaid you with his first goal for the club. Yeah,
I think Albert's done well. I think he came on Saturday and hit the crossbar, and I felt his performance against Dorking here, he did well. So yeah, no, he's come on. He looks bright. He's won some good tackles there in terms of dropping back into the midfield area and caused him some problems from that side of it. So again, he's got his goal, he's got in the box. I mean, there's a few that not really fell for Joe today, even though I felt in the first sort of 15-20 minutes he's got a couple of opportunities just to shoot across the keeper, and he's looking to pass it. So, you know, there's areas there we have to work on, and then obviously Reece comes on and scores his goal, but I felt there was 2 or 3 times there that Reece could have got a cross in the box or had a shot quicker than what he did, and if he'd have done that, maybe he'd have caused them some problems from that side of it. So As I say, I've looked at what Dean's had to do. He's had probably 4 or 5 shots straight to him. He hasn't really had a lot to do. Where we've not made their keeper work enough in that last 15 minutes when we had the opportunities.
Defensively, you look as if you were set up to be solid and to keep them out and keep them at arm's length from goal. Was that the plan?
That was the plan. Yeah, we was right. We played Ollie down the left-hand side and Bobson down the right-hand side. We went with Solomon midfield as his first game for I think just over 3 weeks. So it was good to get him back. And then obviously just dropping Albert in, so it was a plan that I felt worked up to the half time, and I felt it was working in the second half until Bobson gives the ball away. We're on a counter attack, which is what we wanted to do, and he's had a dribble in the middle of the park, and before we know what we've done, as I said, he's lost the tackle, and Danny Green's had one touch and rifled one top corner. So it really undone everything that we were trying to do, which was to try and suffocate them, which we was doing. And hitting them on the counter-attack, which we was doing. We was having some good joy about it. Was getting in behind them in some good areas, causing them some problems. Unfortunately, on the day, as I said to you, our final pass, I felt our final decision wasn't good enough. And you look back at it, and I'm disappointed because I felt there was more in that game than what we've taken out of it today. But we talk about the referee's decision, but I still felt there was other stuff in that game where we could have been slightly better, especially in the final third.
Just want to take you away from this game tonight, just to Joe Newton, who was a Coney Heath lad, St Albans City youth boy. He signed for Coventry yesterday. It seems like that's a player that perhaps could have come through the ranks had there been a development side or a pathway from City youth into the first team.
Well, I think we was all aware of Joe and where he ended up, which is obviously he ended up at Royston. And obviously Royston have benefited from that side of it. But we spoke to Joe in the summer, but he had an agent that was working on his behalf. So there's not a lot we could have done. I mean, we had to do everything through the agent, and the agent is the one that decides where Joe goes now and what he does and who he talks to. So unfortunately, we had to just back off on that side of it because it would have been good to bring somebody like him into the club, but unfortunately, we've missed out on that one, and we have to accept that. It's obviously passed through the Oakland's college scheme, which is good from their point of view. But we've got to, as I've said before, and they're the things that we need to try and improve on. We need to have our own pathway in terms that we develop some of these younger players and we bring them through into our setup. And that's something that I'm certainly looking at the moment. It's something that we've got to try and build, and it can't be done overnight. It's going to take a period of time, and we have to build the right pathway, the right bridges, and have the right relationship with the personnel we're looking to try and do it with. So hopefully we can do something over the next sort of 9 to 12 months, but certainly at the moment, no, we're not where we should be on that side of it.
Oh, you mentioned Danny Green a few times there, Ian. He played 8 games for us 10 years ago. I don't remember him smacking in too many goals like that. I wish he had. But we've got to look forward to Saturday. We're away to Hungerford Town, bottom of the table. We're top of the table side tonight. We need a favourable result at the weekend. Well,
we just got to keep believing in what we're doing. As I say, it's difficult because we've gone to Slough and got a result. We've beat Concord here, obviously had a good performance, but got beat at Billericay. And we've played probably the top 2 teams. Have probably been our best performances in terms of where we've been, but we've lost both games. So, as I said, we can't keep making excuses. We can't keep saying we're nearly there, because we haven't won games of football. And football is all about winning games of football. It's picking up 3 points and climbing the table. It does seem a very competitive league this year in terms of how everybody's beating everybody at the moment. And I think it was today, we're 5 points off of 8th before the game. So, they're the things we have to try and grasp with, but we've got to start picking up 3 points, and it's no good keep looking back and saying this hasn't happened and that hasn't happened, because we're in charge of ourselves in terms of what we've got to do. We have to improve in some areas. We have to score more goals, and we've got to keep clean sheets, and they're all the things that I'm going to look at. As I said before, I've given it 9 games now. The 10th game is Saturday, and then we go into a little bit of a period where we've got a couple of weeks spare in terms of, can we bring anybody in or bring something in that's going to improve us, and that's what I've got to seriously look at it. And it's going to be harsh because, as I say, we'll probably have to lose a couple of players to bring a couple of new players in, but I have to improve it, otherwise we'll be in this situation for the rest of the season.
Taylor Miles comes back into the squad for Saturday, and 90 minutes for Solomon tonight won't do him any harm.
No, it was good. I mean, I didn't want to play him 90 minutes, but unfortunately with Joe picking up a calf injury and putting David in, it was probably going to be that we put David on for the last 20 minutes in midfield, but unfortunately the calf injury has not allowed us to do that substitution, so it's probably 20 minutes too long. But listen, he's a young lad. He needs to get up to speed as quick as he can, and we'll just make sure we don't overdo things on Thursday night in terms of the training, and make sure he's fit for Saturday.
Too early to say for Joe Howe's chances for Saturday?
I would say at the moment he wouldn't be fit for Saturday with what he's done. He's obviously had a slight strain coming in the calf, so I think in them areas it's one of them that will probably take a couple of weeks to settle down.
Lovely, thanks so much, Ian. So we go again on Saturday when the Saints are away to bottom of the table, Hungerford Town, National League South. Kick-off at Bullpit Lane is at 3 p.m.